So I'm thinking if I do stuff like this via videos instead of writing them and posting them on status, see if it's gonna be better. Let me know if it's better. Okay, so something random quite. I mean, I see this and it's quite interesting. For instance, I think Napoleon Hill started getting the heat on, I think it was on Twitter a couple of years ago. Same with for his book Think and Grow Rich, think. And then this one by Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, right? And it's almost like people are trying to like call them scam artists or deceiving people or aspire to Maguire, stuff like that, and their ideas do not work for people to literally get rich. And when I look at it, and I think it really all has to do with the context. And I don't think Napoleon Hill and Robert Kiyosaki would have stepped out to just scam people, deceive people. I think yes, there's the problem of oversimplifying things, but it's also the problem of misunderstanding context. And this is why I think people need to be very careful how they take advice. You must always understand the context of the person giving you an advice. And if the person is not making an attempt to give you advice based on a context relevant to you, right? You might just want to not take that advice. Or you want to like figure out who has a similar context to you and can advise you. Napoleon Hill was giving an advice in a time where things were not so bright, but they were beginning to get brighter. So if you were intelligent, if you were smart, if you were ready to put in the extra work, you will see opportunities and you'll be able to thrive. And once you hit it, like to become rich, is like boom in his time, yeah. So it made sense. Think and grow rich. It meant people had dealt with terrible past, and so it was time to like renew their minds and think about bigger things. Of course, work towards it. Yeah. He also taught other necessary skills. He was not just teaching people mind games. No. For Robert Kiyosaki, was at the time where there was a boom, a continuous boom, almost like every industry was booming. So people were not really necessarily looking at Robert Kiyosaki to grow rich in terms of like have money, but he was giving them a sense of how to build wealth since they were already making money. There was a boom. But I think one thing that is missing and people miss is that people who are currently criticizing these guys are major people who were born after the 80s, maybe late 80s, 90s. Of course, that's the millennials and the Gen Zs primarily. And it's because global economy had slowed down at that point. So a lot of us grew up in a time where growth was slow. We're not really seeing rapid, changes in incomes, in tastes, stuff like that globally, not just specifically for a country, right? I mean, generally globally, apart from the few countries who were at that point experiencing their own development, but for most part of the world, it was just a slow growth period or no growth at all. People grew up in the time where they had to think about managing, had to think about just being conservative, how to really put, and then things became worse. There was a 2001 bombing, and then there was a market crash globally, 2008, 2010. Then there's been COVID. There's just been a lot of things, and people are coming out of school, and jobs are not looking at the way they expected. Income is not looking at the way they expected. Inflation is high. So it's really a different time than from the time of Napoleon Hill and Robert Kiyosaki when they wrote their famous books, right? And if you just try to like copy and paste what those guys wrote and in such simple fashion, leaving out all of the extra context, you're going to miss it, and you're just going to hate those guys and see them as scam artists or something like that, which I don't think they started out really to be. And here's the interesting part. If you look at books talking about money, wealth, riches and stuff in the past, say 5 to 10 years, they've been more conservative. Context matters a whole lot. So in 20 years time, when maybe there's a boom again across the world, some of our children will be like, how come you guys read books like this? This is so conservative. You can't make money this way. You can't be wealthy this way. Stuff like that, yeah? Look at Arese's Ugu Smart Money Woman. It's a very simple stuff on how to maybe be wealthy or something, but you need to have an income, right? She doesn't teach us to have an income. Look at Psychology of Money. Really conservative. It was so clear that I'm not here to, you understand? Context matters. Timing matters. A people's situation matters. So when you want to like really understand a book, study or stuff like that a person wrote, you want to be sure that first, the person had good intentions. Secondly, what was the context? Can I move out the context and then come down to first principles and look at what is a real generic advice I can apply from this year, and not just be looking to condemn or see them as just being scam artists or being untrue or contradictory. Hope this made sense. I don't know, just like differences in my head, and I just like wanted to share this. Hope it made sense. Let me know. Thanks.